Before going in details about batch job submission, there is one concept I really would like to convey, or basically would like to make it um, explain to you, and that is Linux instruction flows and pipes. So these are useful in terms of writing code as well as to understand when you look at some of the batch jobs. So generally, any program in Linux or any command in Linux has three channels associated with it. The first channel is standard input, generally denoted by number 0, standard out denoted by number 1, and standard error denoted by number 2. So you will see these numbers in and around when you look at certain codes of Linux. So the way the things works is when you run a particular program or run any particular command, the data is being read in. If that particular command uses a data or some sort of an input, it reads through standard input. And if the particular application is running and everything goes fine, then the data is being read into through standard input, and everything goes fine without any issues, then data comes out of through the standard output, or the messages comes out through standard output uh, when the things are running successfully. However, if at any time either your command encounters an error, this error could be in your script, this error could be the data because the data is not formatted properly. Because of that, the process, the application actually encounters an error. Then what happens is, rather than outputting the outputting the error through the standard output, you start using the standard error channel and start giving errors through the standard error output. Now by default, both standard output and standard error is pointed to your screen or the terminal you are looking at. So if you write a command properly, the execution happens and you get the output on the screen itself. If you don't type a command properly, make an issue with the command by, let's say, somewhere you misspell the command, the error is printed on the screen. So because both of those are pointed towards the screen, what Linux allows or gives us the flexibility is essentially channeling the error and output separately if you would like to. And we'll see those examples when we start writing batch job submission. The next thing which I was basically mentioned initially is use of pipes in Linux, and that's become very powerful actually if you start writing code in Linux. So let's say there are two programs, program 1 and program 2. We are feeding some data in. So the data in is read through the standard input of program 1, goes through, gets executed, we get successful output, the standard output, and we get the results file. We get the results file and use this results file now as an input into program 2, which reads this result file in through standard input of program 2, and then gives us the final output results through the standard output. This is a two-step process. If you look at the first step, output is one file, and that file is being basically used as an input in the second command. So what pipes allows you to actually remove this intermediate step. What you can do is, with the help of the pipes which I've drawn here, what you're trying to do is you're connecting the standard output of one program to the standard input to the second one, so that when you get the output, the direct output directly gets fed into the standard input of the second command, so that this way you can have multiple commands connected. So I can have another pipe connecting to the third command, fourth command, and fifth command, and that's how the output of the first command goes into the second, and second into the third, and so on and so forth. So we can combine multiple steps into one single line of code. The way these pipes are represented in the commands is with the help of these vertical lines. So if you see a command two commands separated by vertical lines, that essentially means, for example, here command 1 separate vertical command 2 essentially means that the output of command 1 goes as an input to command 2, or the input for command 2 comes from the command 1. So this is really quite powerful when you start using these ones in especially bioinformatics, looking at the files and trying to filtering those files. So these are the two concepts I would like to introduce to you. One is that there are three distinct channels for each command in Linux, and the second thing is the pipes. Definitely the second and the next video we are going to watch, basically we are going to look into is submitting batch jobs.